From the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, "There will be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars, and on earth nations will be in dismay, perplexed by the roaring of the sea and the waves. People will die of fright in anticipation of what is coming upon the world, for the powers of the heavens will be shaken. And then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. When these signs begin to happen, stand erect and raise your heads, because your redemption is at hand. Beware that your hearts do not become drowsy from carousing and drunkenness and the anxieties of daily life, and that day catch you by surprise like a trap. But that day will assault everyone who lives on the face of the earth. Be vigilant at all times, and pray that you have the strength to escape the tribulations that are imminent, and to stand before the Son of Man." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
So, a happy Advent to you all. We finally made it. We are told that the Archbishop is coming very soon, but I believe that once we enter into the liturgical moments, we enter into God's time, and so the Archbishop can wait. Because it is appropriate that we have this time together on this first Sunday of the Advent season. As I was watching the people coming in and out in the other chapel, it struck me, since the 1570s, how many people have entered through those doors of that great Basilica Church, seeking our deeper relationship with the Lord. How many have stood with the troubles of their lives, with the pain and sorrow that life can bring. How many have brought their joys and celebrations to bring them before the Lord. Can you imagine how many baptisms have been celebrated since the 1570s here? How many weddings? How many moments of reconciliation have been celebrated in these holy chapels through the centuries? How many weddings? How many masses? How many funerals? So it's true to say we stand truly on holy ground, where life has been celebrated, where God's fidelity, where the hope that we have in Christ Jesus has been proclaimed, has been celebrated, has given comfort, has given joy, has given consolation, and has allowed us to celebrate God's enduring fidelity to his people. What a beautiful place this is for us to celebrate this first Sunday of the Advent season. Now, at my parish, we really strive very, very conscientiously and to the best of our abilities to stop the holiday season from eroding this holy season of Advent, because it can so easily happen. It seems at times that the holiday seasons are beginning earlier and earlier every year. I expect them to begin on the 4th of July one of these years, and then just to run into the year. Because what happens is that Advent gets truncated by the holidays. We allow the tinsel and the glitter of what the secular world calls the holiday seasons to truncate what we are doing here as people of faith. And did you notice that the readings today are very similar to the readings that we had last week as we ended the season of ordinary time? Because as I said yesterday, we're in a continual cycle of new beginnings and endings. And for the first 2 or 3 weeks, right up to about the 16th or 17th of December, we're going to be not talking about the Christmas event. We're not celebrating and focusing on the events that surrounded that first coming of Christ. Instead, we are using all of that to focus on his coming in glory. As we say in the Creed, he shall come to judge the living and the dead. And our hearts are set on that. And Jesus in the Gospel today reminds us that we have to stay focused on that. The Church in her wisdom, 2,000 years of wisdom, is simply using the first coming of Christ in the great mystery of the Incarnation as a kind of a scaffolding for us, We've seen a lot of scaffolding today. And for our scaffolding for us, in order for us to celebrate and to understand the second coming of Christ, that glorious moment when he will arise, as they said, with power and great glory. And all those who have been faithful will stand up and raise their heads, because we will know then that our redemption is at hand. And because we are people of faith, but we're also living in this world, in all of its reality, in all of its beauty, in all of its brokenness, and that can impinge on us so easily. We are challenged by the gospel today not to be caught in carousing and drunkenness. That doesn't seem to apply to us. We've all been in bed by 9 o'clock most evenings after long busy days. But we're called to be vigilant in our prayer, vigilant that we are hoping. Our hearts should be full of hope and joy, that no matter when the Lord comes, and we don't know that moment, we will be ready to stand before him. And that whatever happens in the world, and it looks at times, from time to time, I look out at the world and all that's going on, and I think, my gosh, is this the end times? But whatever's happening, famines and wars, you and I as Christians, people committed to living the gospel message, we always have that hope within us. We always have that joy within us. And so we are using this Advent season, first of all, to prepare ourselves for his coming in glory. That's the second coming of Christ. We are using the first coming of Christ in the great mystery of the Incarnation at Christmas, as I said, that scaffolding by which we will actually celebrate and think and reflect and discern our role. And we are also, the third coming of Christ, he's already begun here. He spoke to us in the beautiful words of Scripture. He reminded us of the promises that were once made to Israel, now extended and to all nations and fulfilled in Christ Jesus. He will come to us in a few moments in the great mystery of his enduring presence with his people, in his own sacrifice. The once-for-all unique sacrifice we will share in his blood and in his body. We will experience him. He will come to dwell within us. So let's use this holy season of Advent to reflect on all of those three comings. Let us use this holy season to build up and deepen and strengthen our sense of hope. And in the darkness of our world, today, 2018, to be that people that radiate and that shine, because we wait in joyful hope for the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. No matter what happens, no matter what sorrow we might have in our lives at the moment, we have always the great hope of the coming of Christ. I think that the words of the Alleluia verse are a beautiful moment for us to reflect. Show us, Lord, your love. Grant us your salvation. And the Lord is saying, yes, here it is for you. Celebrate it. Make it your own. Imbibe it. Make it part of who you are. My love, my salvation. I hope that you find it. Amen?
Amen.